Hey, fellas, we ain't gonna ever back down from nobody. I don't care who it is. This is a brotherhood. And if we stand strong together, we can't be denied. If one of us goes down, we have another, and another, and another that's ready to fight. So let's hit this field and bang them, bang them, bang them. Somebody, light me up.
Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire podcast. I'm gonna do this. Here I am. How are you doing, everybody? Welcome back. Sorry for the bit of a delay. We were setting up all of our wonderful screens because for the first time on our live stream, we're not only have the one and only superfan Mike, but we also have a guest. So I wanted to make sure that we got this all set up properly so that you could see us all. So first, let's go to our good friend over in Spruce Grove in Turf District West. It is the one and only superfan Mike. There it is. Lovely.
There he is.
How you
Thank
doing, sir?
It's not bad. It was a very exciting, long weekend. Is it a weekend? I'm not even sure anymore.
What's a weekend? Yeah.
I don't know. Long. It's a long one.
Yeah, absolutely. You made it through though. The last couple of weeks have been okay for you?
Yeah, it's been all right. I mean, it's not like we're doing a whole lot, but just chilling out and hanging with family and a lot of video chatting and calling and texting and instant messaging and
I think
Facebook posting. And...
I was talking with our guest beforehand and said, we're going to do this on Skype. And his response was, well, I've done, pretty much every other web connection, so I might as well add that one to the list.
Nice.
So I think we're all getting pretty good at hooking up somewhere online. So that makes it kind of fun. Before we introduce our guest, though, before we bring him in, I just want to make sure that we wish our good friend Tennyson a happy 5th birthday this coming Friday. Our good friends at Pay It Forward with Football, on the off chance that he happens to still be awake and watching the stream, I want to make sure that he gets a happy birthday, being that I know he has to have his birthday at home. So happy birthday from all of us there, buddy. And I tried to get a bunch of players on board to wish him a happy birthday, so hopefully they will.
Oh, there have been.
Oh, good. That's what they should be.
It's awesome.
Yep. Good. That's fantastic. All right, so let's get our guest. Who is joining us here tonight? Joining us for a second time. It's very exciting.
Doing very well. Thank you guys for having me back on. Yeah, I somehow know somebody who works for the team, so I kind of get all this stuff for free. So it works out pretty good.
It's a good gift.
Yeah, I've pretty much been living in this stuff since I haven't been going into the office. So it's kind of nice change from suit and tie to Eskimo track pants and sweaters all the time.
You got pants? Nice.
Yeah, surprisingly, yes.
No one knows.
Us all in here so we're all together. There we are. So Matt, tell us how's the I guess since the season ended, what have you been up to?
It's been interesting. Certainly the last little while. But after the football season ended, I've really gotten into running quite a bit over the last couple of years. So I ran my first half marathon in January, and have
That's awesome.
Thank you. That was cool. Finished it, which I was very happy about. My best friend and I who ran it together. Tried to finish together. I ended up having to leave him after however many miles it was that we'd gotten through together. 8 miles together, and he needed an extended break, so I took off. But it was a lot of fun. And other than that, just keeping tabs on what's going on with the off season, and crying a little bit about my guy Tom Brady leaving New England, and just trying to figure out.
Yeah, we're really upset about that. I don't know if you can tell.
Apparently, we're getting a bit of an echo on.
Oh, really?
Matt is echoing apparently.
Oh, okay.
According to Tyler and Tim Capper, so. And they replied to me today, so.
Hopefully that stops.
Smitty, CFL America.
There we go. Okay. I tried to adjust that there. Hopefully that'll fix it a little bit.
Apparently
okay.
It's an echo on me and Matt, but not you.
Oh, weird. I've turned off the desktop audio, so it should be not happening. But
well, we'll see if it does now.
Yeah, I had that off right from the get-go, so it should be there. I'm not sure. Sometimes we, again, we're learning. Sometimes we get some of these weird things that are happening, even though it's not planned that way. So yeah, Matt, how long did it take you to finish the half? Because I know you're running it. I'm really impressed by that.
Yeah. When we were there, it was early January, so we weren't expecting, and we ran it in Florida. So we knew it was going to be a little bit humid compared to January in Edmonton.
You don't say.
Yeah. But the day that we ran it was probably 26 above. But you start running at 5 in the morning. So it's not so bad. But it got hotter and hotter as the day went on. We stopped at every mile marker. We would run each mile marker, and then grab a drink and sort of walk for a little bit. Keep going. And we did that for 8 miles. My pace was much slower than typically is, because I wanted to run with my friend Mike. But by the time we finished, I finished in 2 hours 33 minutes. He finished just over 3 hours. So all we were happy was just to finish the race. So it worked out pretty well.
Okay. Oh, that's an amazing time. I'm very impressed by that. Because I don't. I know when I did my half last year, it was 3 hours for me to do it walking.
Nice.
But even that, it was like, whew, I tell you, by the end of it, you're a little sore, to say the least.
Yeah, it was painful. And then we went to the park after one of the parks afterwards. So I think I put on like 45,000 steps or something that day.
Oh, is that all?
It was a rough go. It was a rough go.
Okay, well that is pushing it for sure. So that's not so great. Let's talk about an Eskimo's moment, just because I saw this come up today and I thought this might be kind of interesting to talk about with you. 42 years ago today, we signed Warren Moon to the team. Now, that's a little bit ahead of your time, but not so ahead of the time your dad was there.
Yeah,
yeah,
would have been 8 years into his tenure at that point, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, which is crazy. But do you have memories of any of those teams? Because you were like, I don't know exactly when it is you came along, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I was born in 1984, so I just missed all of the 5 in a row stuff. But I mean, I've met Warren numerous times in his visits up to Edmonton and things like that, and he's always been very gracious with his time. So I wouldn't say I've gotten to know him, but I've gotten to meet him several times, and he's just a great guy. But just hearing all the stories that my dad would tell, and people around the team at that point, Dan Kepley from back when he was still coaching here and all that sort of stuff. So you really got a sense of just how amazing he was, and how crazy those teams were, and both on and off the field. It sounded like there was a lot of wild times going on back then.
Yeah, it was the 70s, so yeah.
So it was all wild at that point? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would imagine so. I
Not for
guarantee that my
me.
dad's got a yeah, well, probably not for you, Mike, but I know my dad's got plenty of stories that I know he's just his big joke is he's waiting for people to die before he can write the book on some of that stuff. But I'm sure at some point when he starts to share some of those things, it will look back and be like, how do these people survive life? But it'll be something else.
Well, to be fair, I did ask him to, come on and tell us some of those stories, but he said he'd be happy to watch. So that's where he's doing right now.
Well,
I hope so.
he doesn't know how to work any of this stuff, so he couldn't put it up if he wanted to. He doesn't know how to turn on a phone, any of that stuff. So there comes a point where I see people again, and we can get together, and maybe I'll walk him through how to do some of that stuff or something like that. Eventually, he'll get on here, I'm sure.
That's awesome. Superfan, do you want to go through our fan vote winners for this week, and then we'll come back with a couple more for Matt?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so hang on 2 seconds here. We're going to... so, Matt, I don't know if you've followed along at all, but we've been doing the all-time... And so, these 50 wonderful PowerPoints to show us all the people that won for this week. So, Mike, I leave it up to you.
All right. So, yes, this week is round 6. I think we did the linebacker. So if we the depth chart from last, you should see everyone there from the defensive line. So we picked people today. So next one here will be the linebackers. So we've got outside linebackers and the middle line. Sort of the middle of the field. They do a lot of run stopping. They even sometimes go into coverage as well, especially that Sam linebacker, the strong side. And we have decided to pick 2 and 3 outside linebackers. So if we move on to the next one here. Yeah, easy. All right, let's get started. So we have the linebackers. And next up, we have the outside linebackers, our first start. And the first one is going to be Mr. Tom Towns. So yes. Tommy joined in 1975. He was a draft pick of ours in February of that year. He had actually the same 3 linebackers, starting linebackers, for almost, which is unheard of. Yeah. Both our outside linebackers were Canadian as well, which is a rare. Sure. Still lives in town. I think last I heard he was running a jewelers. I'm not sure if he still is or not, but Matt would know more than I do.
I thought he
had his own jewelry shop at Lamarchand Mansion. He's selling it to retire, as far as I know.
Yeah, that was what I had heard recently too.
All right.
Says you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Next up will be no surprise to anybody.
Woohoo!
We have Ruckdom. Yeah.
Damn near.
So Larry came to the team in 19. We traded punter Paul Hickey for Ruck. They had for almost a full year. We had Ruck for 10. So
Please tell me that Hickey went there and because that would be what usually happens when you get traded to Saskatchewan.
Even in the 80s.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Play linebacker or interior linebacker and outside linebacker, especially in the 3-4 sets. But just an absolute beast out there, a crazy run stopper, and just a fan favorite. He's on the Wall of Honor. I think he went in with Sean Fleming.
Awesome. That's funny. He was traded in with a punter. Interesting.
Right.
All right then. Excellent.
Next up should be a big thrill to you, Mr. Singor Mobley. Singor joined the team in 1995 as a safety and defensive back. I went in 97 to the Dallas Cowboys, played 3 years there as a backup strong safety and again as a special teamer. And then back to us in 1999, 99, 2000, as a linebacker and play that outside linebacker position. And again, just dominated. Huge fan favorite. Was with the team, of course, for that 2002, 2003, 2005 run we had, going to the Grey Cup, winning the last 2 of them, then retired after the 2006 season.
That was a sad day, but still, I'm glad he's on the list.
Very
That's good.
Yeah, he and Donnie Brady actually retired on the same day, or were cut on the same day.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
All right. So next up, we're going to look at the middle linebacker position. It's going to come as absolutely no surprise to anybody how tough this was. And the first choice, again, no surprise, Mr. Danny Ray Kepley. And kind of took the team by storm and the rest of the league. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Just kind of ran that defense. He was a little bit crazy. Read his book, Inside the Dynasty. Get it and read it. It's available on eBay. You can find it on Kijiji, things like that. Some of the stories are absolutely outrageous. They'd have a rookie that they thought wasn't respectful enough, so he broke a beer bottle and dragged it across his neck, just to kind of teach him a lesson.
So much like most middle linebackers,
like today, you could get away with
totally. You could totally get away with that now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Last.
Kind of knew he would be there. The last linebacker is Miss Willie the Terminator Pless. Kind of a no-brainer for him as well, because he did win the most outstanding defensive player 5 times, which is a CFL record, including 4 in a row from 1995 to 98. Just an outstanding player. Dominated that position and the defenses. What more can you say about this?
Probably not a lot, because he's just... Matt, did you know Willie, or did you get a chance to kind of know him better?
No, I knew Willie. I was around the locker room when he was still playing, and usually when I was quite young at the time when Willie was really dominating, but he would chase me and my brother around the locker room and lock us in the steam room and throw us in the laundry baskets, things like that. But yeah, it was. I got to know those guys, Willie and Benny Goods and Jed and guys like that very well from. I was a young man. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure if very well is the right explanation for that, but that's pretty good.
All right, so next up we're going to look at all of our choices there. So there are the 3 outside linebackers and the 2 middle linebackers as chosen by the fans.
Nice.
So if we go next...
If there is any changes for the media one, we'll talk about that on the podcast. Right?
Absolutely. And there are.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
There we go. So next up, we're going to look at that depth chart again. So there's the depth chart before. And if we click on it, we can see them slotted into that spot there. Kepley and Pless, flanked by Ruck, Towns, and it says Ruck, Towns.
Oh.
That should be Singor Mobley, but, we'll pretend.
Oh, Singar's our friend. You better be careful. He's coming after you now. That's... All right. And
well, as long as he comes here, whatever.
We almost have this filled out there, Superfan.
We're getting pretty close. So next week we will sort of look at that. So again, thanks to everyone that voted in round 6. We had quite a good amount of people voting on this one, which was fantastic. So round 7 is coming up, and that will be the running backs. So we've got the halfbacks and the fullbacks.
Ooh,
so we're going to
pick be
2 of those.
There.
Yeah, 2 of each of those. There's going to be some, again, shed because people are just not going to make it, but we'll see who they choose.
I think, well, I bet you I know one fullback. I can pretty much guarantee there is one fan favorite that is going to be put in at fullback no matter what.
That's right. Neil Lumsden.
Yeah. Absolutely what I was thinking. Yeah, Canadian. Yep, that's exactly
Tony Burks.
Yes. That's it. Tony, yeah, that's household name, Tony Burse.
Hey, I love Tony Burse. He was great. He was a bull.
Yeah,
Very good. Yeah.
absolutely. Well, thank you so
All
much,
right.
man. Thank you for that. That was
Absolutely.
awesome. That was very, very good. And we always
Yeah.
love when you put those together. And I'm excited for the next round. And so I assume, what do we have? 2 rounds left then? We've got halfbacks, running backs, and then we have quarterbacks?
We got the running backs, so the halfbacks and fullbacks. And then we're going to have the quarterbacks and then coaches.
Oh, right. Yes. Coaches as well. That's right. So,
Gonna be tough.
there's going to be some tough ones in there for sure. So this is awesome though. I love that you're putting this together, and thanks for doing all the time for that. And of course for anybody who wants to know the history before 1975, we'll have that on the podcast this week, where you're going to do the whole front 7 on the defense, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's going to be pretty scary, actually. I think we've got 10 people for that. That should be fun.
All right. Well, that should be an easy one then.
It's okay.
We did we did get some questions, and I do want to get your opinion on this one as well. One of the questions that came up is, what is more plausible, to have the season start at the end of July or at Labor Day weekend? What do you feel about that?
I am always the optimist. The way things are going right now, I'm thinking closer to Labor Day. I think the league is likely planning on that as well, just with all of the restrictions that are in place. Of course, I don't know anything. This is just my assumption.
Yeah.
I think that would be better than nothing. And hopefully it's able to go ahead like that. Ideally, it would be great if it was in July, but I just can't see it happening, especially today with Fringe being canceled and some of the festivals that are no longer taking place. I just am not sure. And especially with the way things are going in the States right now, that might be the biggest problem is whether the borders might open or not, or when they'll open, because that's a good chunk of your roster right there having to come in from down south. So who knows when that'll happen. But I'm hopeful we'll get something in. Labor Day seems pretty likely. At least for an estimated start time.
Yeah, I would agree. Mike, do you have anything different on that, or?
I don't think anything different. I think that, like Matt said, it's going to be so hard with so many American players having to come up, especially guys that we have signed that have never played with the team. The guys would be first for Eskimos. I don't know if that's going to happen before July, let alone, August. I think that if we can start seeing things where we can get groups of people together for training camp in August, then Labor Day would be. What I think will be interesting will be, are we going to have just, if we have, say, 8 games, one team plays every other team, or do you want to have it like East versus East, West versus West, and then everyone meets in the Grey Cup?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Mike, or Matt? 2 M's. I'm getting all mixed up. Matt, hey, one of you M guys. Can you what are your thoughts on either a round robin type play, or either a West plays West, East plays East?
Yeah, it's interesting to think about what could potentially happen. I think if they end up going 8-game schedule or something like that, I think it would be cool if each team played each other once. But I could see it just being East and West separated. But then it gets really sticky for things like, crossover or something like that. Right. Do they just throw those types of things out the window? I mean, there's things that would have to be answered. But really, I think at the end of the day, with the way things are right now, any CFL season would be better than nothing. So whether East or West or intertwined, whatever it is, if we could see some action at some point, I think that's the ultimate.
Yeah, I can argue with you on that. I think that if we get any, we'll be happy. That's really what we're looking for at this particular moment. And now I'm going to throw this other one in just because we just talked about it. If they did the 1 to 8, would you be open to the seeding process that they talked about, where the top 2 teams get the bye and then 3 through 6 play, or and kind of work their way down?
Yeah, I actually thought that was a pretty unique idea. And I know that they were talking about that as being a potential placeholder over the next couple of years until the 10th team gets in, just to try something different. And I'm not opposed to it. I think it would be cool to see how it plays out. And if it doesn't work all that well, say in 2 years or whatever, you just say, okay, we tried something new and let's go back to what, traditionally works.
Yeah.
But I think at that point, you want the best teams in. And we've seen in years, I mean, for us in 2018, where we were not the first 9-9 team to miss the playoffs. You want your best teams in the at that point. So why not try something that gives the best teams the opportunity to go out and play?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're going to get to recording the podcast now, but I do want to thank you, Matt, for joining us and making sure that we can actually make this work with a guest, which is outstanding. Even though there was a few technical glitches, we did seem to figure it out, so everyone could see your smiling face in your lovely Eskimo hat. That's exciting. And at some point your dad will be able to see that and go, hey, look, it's like he's on TV.
He's texting me. Oh, he can't figure it out. He doesn't know. I knew this was going to happen with him.
Link will be up so everybody can follow along. So that's good.
No. Click that one. That one.
Turn it off and turn it back on again, right?
Like him at work.
Yeah.
Just one thing before, though, if anyone hasn't seen it, Uncle BD put out a 2020 revised schedule that at the end of August, beginning of September. If you haven't had it, check it out. It's very cool.
Oh, okay.
I saw that. That was very cool. Actually, a really good idea.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff rolling around in that head of his, so we gotta take advantage of these things when we get a chance. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, guys, thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in Turf District West, so that we're all socially isolated but still connecting, and and we'll get to the show. I am going to change this right there. There we go. And hopefully we did get that echo fixed. I figured out what the problem was.
Yes, we did.
It was just a combination of both feeds from both guys. But we've sorted it out. So now we're ready again to do this in a couple of weeks when we have hopefully another guest joining us. Make sure that you check out all of the great shows on the Alberta Podcast Network at albertapodcastnetwork.com. There you go. Change that up for fun.
The Facebook.
And did you like it?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here to make it exciting for you, man. That's what we do. And again, thank you to my friend Tyler for getting the intro going, and hopefully it ran smoother this week, because after we did the first stream, I realized I needed to upgrade my internet, and so hopefully now we have this running smoothly. Leave your feedback for us in the comments below so that we can kind of chat and make sure that we get this working properly for you. We're excited to have more people on as we're getting through this all together. I hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy as we're all thinking about all of our CFL family. So for Mike and Matt, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely... I know, wasn't that smooth? It was awesome. We'll absolutely talk to you in a couple of weeks.